Hello and welcome back everyone for part 4 of the Lore Deep Dive number 12. In this video we will be covering the Lord for Justice event, and which happens quite some time after Kill the Lord. It happens in the middle of chapter 35? Yeah, happens in the middle of chapter 35. If I have it here. It happens after the cutscene Because We Are Comrades, and it happens relatively sometime before the cutscene Several Mistakes within chapter 35. Right in the middle. It happens in the middle of a chapter. This is why it's kind of harder to tie it in. I had to do a lot of effort to tie this one in. This video will be covering the Lord for Justice. This is where this event revealed a lot more about the judges. We have a lot to unpack in this one. There was a lot of changes and shakeups. I cannot wait. So without further ado, we'll be going right on in. Make sure that if you like this video when it comes out, you like and subscribe and turn on the bell for notifications. Here we go. Undisclosed location in the Ark. Perilous Siege Safe House. Kay stares down with sunken eyes at the sentenced targets brought in earlier. 2 men and 1 woman have their arms and legs tightly bound and tape sealed over their mouths. Scattered around them are various samples of a drug prevalent in the Ark, referred to as mist. Kay peels the tape off of one of the man's mouth. Please, don't kill me. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. As the man's body hits the floor, it is accompanied by the clink of a shell casing landing. Kay removes the tape from the other man's mouth. So this is how it ends. Getting used and then tossed to the wolves. You don't have a clue, do you? The judges in Perilous Siege are way worse than us. This statement causes Kay, who is aiming her weapon at the man's head, to pause. At least we're honest about being dishonest. But no, not you. You prattle on about justice, as if there's anything righteous about this dirty work. The bullet grazes the man's cheek, interrupting his seething tirade. Shut up. Get it over with, will you? Just kill me already. Another casing drops. The man collapses, his face frozen in contorted rage. Kay looks down at the growing pool of blood with dead eyes. No. The remaining woman, who is still tied up, watches with terror in her eyes. After glancing her way, Kay pulls out a phone and dials a number. Before there is even a ring, the line connects with a click. Report. Request for stay of execution. Stand by. Denied. Execute immediately. And if I refuse? Murmured voices can be heard on the other end. A voice different from the previously monotonous tone is now coming from the phone. It is the voice of an elderly person. Kay, are you listening? X? That's right. I believe this is the first time you've heard my voice, and yet you still recognize me. It's because you're the only one of the upper strata who still seems human. I'll take that as a compliment. However, I believe we have a misunderstanding to clear up. The man's voice immediately drops all pretense of warmth and shifts to a cold and emotionless tone. Kay can feel the hairs on her body stand on end. The judges are a committee. Everyone has an equal say, and therefore all decisions are impartial. However, The letters in our code names also stand for something. To borrow the terminology you just used, one can say we are divided into the upper and lower strata. Yes? So tell me, what do you think that means? Remember what your name stands for. Accept the consequences of the choice you made. I'm waiting for a response. For the sake of a righteous judgment. The call disconnects. Kay grips the phone tightly and clenches her jaw. Having overheard the call, a look of resignation washes over the woman sitting in front of Kay. Undisclosed location in New York. Perilous siege safe house. There's the sound of a single gunshot. Then the echo of a shell casing rolling on the floor. Then several more shots. I'm going to warn y'all, this one also gets kind of dark. All of the Perilous Siege ones and the Underworld Queen ones are incredibly dark. It's that peculiar time of day, when the weariness of a full and busy day is intermingled with the satisfaction of having spent your time well. Here's today's breaking news. Traces of illegal drug trafficking were found in an office in the Ark's Western District. The building in question was completely destroyed, leading the ACPU to suspect inter-organizational conflict. Things out there are getting grim. I absent-mindedly watched the TV for a while, then get up to take a shower. However, I sense that someone is already in the bathroom. In the past, this would have caused me to panic. But that was then and this is now. I smile and open the door. Oh, hi. Huh? I wanted to borrow your shower for a minute. Don't worry, I'll be out of your hair soon enough. Kay's voice seems dispirited, and I can see bloodstains on her face. Are you okay? You're not hurt, are you? I rush over to check on her. Take it easy, that hurts. I'm not sensing Kay's usual abrasive energy. First thing first, let's tend to these injuries. And how do you intend on doing that? I was going to call Mary or Pepper and notify the entire world about Perilous Siege and what we do. Don't worry about me, I'm not badly hurt. I just need to stay here for a moment. And then I'll be fine. Kay! Kay's eyes close as she slumps over and I rush over to catch her before she falls. Let me get you into another room. I try to lift her. But she's unexpectedly heavy. Careful, I'm on a mission of great consequence. I want to contextualize that. It says she is unexpectedly heavy. Combat Nikkes, just normal ones, typically weigh like 300 pounds without their weapons and armor. And we have successfully carried one with their weapons and armor. Like 400, 500 pounds on our back. And she's unexpectedly heavy. We can't even lift her. They outfit us with special bodies for such missions. They're completely different from those you pick up without a care when you're out gallivanting with your Nikke girlfriends. Kay curls up inside the tub. Leave me be. I'll feel better soon and then I'll be gone. I'm sorry for making a mess of your bathroom. And this is the woman who never apologizes. That's saying a lot. What are you doing? I'm going to stay here until you feel better. He stares blankly as I sit next to the tub. Whatever. Do as you please. After responding bluntly, she slowly closes her eyes. A while later, Kay has managed to clean herself up. I then summon up every last ounce of strength I have and attempt to help move her. Phew. Are you okay? Sounds like you're the one who needs to lie down, not me. I'm fine, just gotta catch my breath. Fine. After giving a perfunctory response, Kay turns her back to me. Gross? Yes? I think I've lost my memory. What do you mean? Not quite the same as Arcana. It's not all gone, but there are bits and pieces missing. On top of that, I have no recollection whatsoever of the past week. The last thing I remember is formulating a plan to collect intel for a top-level mission. The next thing I know, I woke up inside the safe house and everything in between is a blank. Do you remember how you got your injuries? Not a clue. They don't appear to be severe, and certainly don't inhibit my movements. Like Kay said, the injuries do appear to only be surface-level cuts and scrapes. It's hard to explain, it's like my body's refusing to move. At any rate, that's the situation. I also can't get in touch with any of the upper strata. Or D. Do you think it could be? I doubt it. If they wanted me dead, I wouldn't be here right now. The judges aren't nearly that sloppy. So what does it mean? Probably just one of those things. Something the judges consider perfectly normal. Do you really believe that? What other choice do I have? Throw my hands up and wait for things to unfold? I've got to proceed like usual. Wrap things up, leave no loose ends, and deal with any aftermath if and when it comes. Is that how you usually operate? Yes. Perhaps feeling a bit more energized from our conversation, he sits up on the bed. Speaking of which, heading back to work, you catch on quick. I guess humans are intuitive creatures after all. Yeah, but I'm not so sure I want to get used to what's going on here. Who is it? Arcana. Take a guess. Just a moment. Tell her to come in. She already knows everything. Alright. Come in. Arcana walks in with a beaming smile, then promptly spins around upon seeing Kay. Keep in mind, Kay is still, Nikke. Yeah. You two go ahead and have fun. It's fine, come on in. Sorry, but I kind of hoped it'd be just the two of us being intimate, whispering sweet nothings to each other and all that stuff. It's not what you think. After a while, Arcana finally calms down and explains why she came. There was a break-in at the library. The Forbidden Library, to be precise. My room isn't the only entrance to that place, you see. Normally they're tightly sealed, but Arcana shows a picture of a metal door that's been split open like a sheet of paper. I probably should contextualize this. I'm going to break this down too. For those of you who haven't seen the Arcane Archives video, Arcana oversees an area of the library, the Forbidden Library. There's two separate areas of the Forbidden Library. There's the library that's openly available to the public. There's a Forbidden Library that deals with classified information that only certain officials are allowed to be in. And then there's a Forbidden Library. And archives which nobody but Arcana is allowed to be in. And every time Arcana goes in and works with the classified information, she has to have her memories wiped of that information. Because nobody should know of its existence. That's where the break-in occurred. Arcana shows us a picture of a metal door that's been split open like a sheet of paper. One of them ended up like this. You call that a break-in? I know, the word barely does it justice. And the other thing is that the alarm never went off. I only discovered it when I didn't have anything else to do. I mean, when I was making my rounds. Kay and I exchanged a silent glance. Let's go. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. A break-in at the Forbidden Library, and the memories of a perilous siege member mysteriously vanishing? There's no way it's all a coincidence. Did you say you lost your memory? I've got a great method that works for me whenever my memory gets wiped. If you want, I could. Keep it to yourself. Oh, okay. Let's head to the library. Arcana takes us to the scene of the crime. A bulky iron door thicker than my body has been torn apart like a piece of cloth. Is this passage normally unused? I personally don't use it, no. But others do. During emergencies, yes. Arcana glances over at Kay, who's examining the door. You mean, yes. This passage is occasionally used by members of Perilous Siege. It is connected to the path that I usually take. Neither I nor anyone else uses it often, so we employ additional security measures to keep an eye on it. Did you report it? Yes, as soon as I saw it. But for some reason, I haven't received any response yet. I started wondering what I should do, and then I figured that since you're connected with this place as well, that was smart of you. I'll ask the higher-ups myself. Wait, I suddenly remember Kay mentioning how she was unable to reach D. No answer. From D, you mean? She's probably on a mission. She's always hard to get a hold of. Really, she always answers my calls. Maybe she's more proactive about answering calls from her husband. I don't think that's it. Anyway, let's go inside. Inside? Whoever did this didn't do it because they were bored. They were looking for something. That's true, but is there anything missing from the archive? I checked the highly classified materials first, and luckily nothing is missing from those. I didn't have time to look at the other materials, and we can look together. Good idea. If we figure out what's gone missing or what's been damaged, that might clue us in as to who the intruder was. Kay pushes the iron door further open for us to go in. Let's go. The passage eventually intersects with the corridor leading to Arcana's room. Upon arriving at the Forbidden Library's reading room, we commence our search. Not long after that, well, that was less hassle than I thought it would be. This room holds the documents that are one level below the most highly classified materials. I've already checked them. I see a wooden door which resembles the one I saw before leading to the room where the Goddess Squad records were housed. So, basically the most classified materials. There's also another similar wooden door. On it there's a sign which reads S1452, along with a crude lock. It's open. You're right. Oh no. The faint, musty scent of old books wafts through the crack of the open door. What kind of records are kept here? That's where the records pertaining to Perilous Siege are stored. What? Let's go inside. Inside, the room is in complete disarray. Oh my gosh, those wicked thieves, they made a complete mess of the place. Arcana hastily begins picking up the books scattered on the floor. Forget about those for now. More importantly, it looks to me like some of the books are missing. What? Just this case said, some sections of the shelves are noticeably empty. Do you have any idea what those missing books were about, Arcana? Well, the records here are usually redacted before they get to us. They are? I told you before. The higher-ups censor them. Oh. But I still remember some of the titles. Let me see. Arcana examines the gaps in the shelves. Looks like they're mission records for 2 members of Perilous Siege. So the Forbidden Library was broken into, and records related to Perilous Siege have gone missing. Meanwhile, Kay has been injured and lost her memory, and D is completely MIA. This isn't good. This might go deeper than we initially thought. What was that? There's some kind of construction going on? I heard they were expanding the Forbidden Library. Yeah, but that's not set to start for a while. Let's check it out. We hurry out of the room and follow the continuous thudding sound. As we run, the noise continues. When we arrive at the main reading room of the Ark Library, we find what seems to be the source of the noise. Moran. All I gotta say is I like Moran's casual outfit, okay? Oh geez, sorry about that. Moran is desperately trying to straighten the bookshelves, which has fallen over like dominoes. Oh man, how am I gonna clean all this up? Moran? Cadet? Are you here to help me? How thoughtful of you. What are you doing here? Oh, well... Moran looks around the wrecked reading room. I was doing some research. What kind of research would necessitate? Oh... What else? 6-0. Have you made any progress? Moran pulls out an envelope from her pocket. What's this? Mist. This is the room I used to this is the room I used for brief breaks. Make yourself comfortable. Arcana leads us to a small room connected to the librarian's desk, whereupon Moran, Kay, and I all sit down. You said your name was Kay. Does Perilous Siege have an interest in this as well? That's none of your business. Then I won't share any information with you either. Cadet, let's talk in private. Moran stands up. Sit down. Don't tell me what to do. You little... This is what happens when you put two abrasive women in a room together. They both have very similar personalities. And they both hate it. Both of you calm down. Didn't Rosanna mention something before about Underworld Queen and Perilous Siege not getting along? Why would we get along with scum like them? They say they punish evildoers, but everyone in the underworld knows the truth. The only people who get a bullet to the head are those who get in the way. We punish those who do wrong and make them pay the price. That's the only path to true justice. Don't talk to me about justice. What you do is the furthest thing from just... Enough, both of you! Moran, can you tell us what you found? We're in a bit of a tough situation now, and any information you have could be helpful. Fine, I'll tell you, but only because you're the one asking. Moran sits back down and pulls out a small notebook. According to a recent lead, I found out that mist is being distributed again in the Ark. This time, we're not talking about the Outer Rim, we're talking about the Ark. I did everything I could to track down the suppliers, but it was like they vanished into thin air. I'm telling the truth. I hid myself out of sight and waited for them all to head into their hideout. Once they were inside, I raided the place immediately. But when I did, no one was there. Could there have been a secret passage of some kind? I checked for that too. I ran over that place with a fine-tooth comb and smashed everything, but didn't turn up anything. Could it be? Here is today's breaking news. Traces of illegal drug trafficking were found in an office in the Ark's Western District. The building in question was completely destroyed, leading to ACPU to suspect interorganizational conflict. It was Moran. So that was you. Huh? What was that? Nothing. So you came to the library to investigate further? No. I ended up apprehending the criminals. They had some mist on them. What? But I don't know what happened. I was chasing after 3 people, 2 men and a woman. The 2 men disappeared, although I have no idea where, and only the woman was left. Wait. Kay, who had been listening silently until that point, interrupts Moran. 2 men and 1 woman, you said. Yeah. Do you know something? Urgh. Kay clutches her head. Kay? What's wrong? Are you hurt? I didn't know Perilous Siege had feelings. Don't worry about it. Just tell me more about the 3 people you were tracking. You said there's only 1 woman left? Yeah, but something bad must have happened to her. She was totally out of it. She kept rambling and saying someone killed her friends. I was barely able to get a coherent sentence out of her, but finally managed to get a rough description of who killed them. I wrote it down and came to the library to find more information. Why the library? I'm sure the library has that kind of information. I'm not so sure about that. What, I thought you could find anything you needed at a library. She's an idiot. Anyway, now that I met up with you guys, it doesn't matter. Should I just tell you the description? Please. Marine clears her throat and flips through her notebook. Female with long black hair. It wasn't possible to ascertain whether she was human or Nikke. Not much to go on. Exactly, even amongst our small group, you and I already matched that description. Is that it? Of course not. Next, she had a gun with spikes. A kind of pistol or maybe a submachine gun. A gun in any case. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds real fucking familiar. Don't look at me like that. There are lots of other guns with spikes out there. Is there anything more? Keep going. That's all I got from her. Figures. Oh wait, there's one more thing I just forgot to write it down. Apparently the woman was talking to someone on the phone and said something about refusing to carry out an execution and then accepting a choice. A whole bunch of ominous stuff like that. Then something about a righteous judgment and some other stuff. What did you say? Kay grabs Marin's shoulders and glares at her. What did you just say? What's gotten into you? Marin, can we talk with that woman now? Sure, I told her to go lie down for a while. I can go wake her up. Let's go quickly. Lead the way. Okay. Damn. What in the hell is going on? Moran takes us to the point near where the outer rim and arc are partitioned. This is it. I ring the doorbell and wait for a moment, but there's no sign of anyone inside. I ring the bell a second time, but nothing happens. Could she have left and gone somewhere? Step aside for a moment. Why? That woman was in no state to go anywhere. That tells me... Huh? I thought your brain was a useless lump, but you're pretty sharp. Guess Underworld Queen isn't so bad for a bunch of lousy chumps. Wow, I had no idea you were capable of complimenting someone. Maybe you're a better person than I thought. You stay here and look after Cadet. I'll go inside. Moran easily breaks down the flimsy door and steps inside. Soon after, we've got a small problem, Cadet. Come inside. Damn. Alright. Huh? Lingering inside the room is a scent I've smelled a few times before, the pungent metallic scent of blood. Not only that, she's dead. The body of a woman lies on the floor. I was holding myself back earlier because it's you, but this changes things. Now I've gotten involved in this. What in the world is going on? I'm sorry, I didn't know when was the right time to fill you in. I'm beginning to explain everything to Moran, from Kay losing her memory to the forbidden library being infiltrated. All the while, Kay silently examines the dead woman's body with sunken eyes. I had no idea it was this serious. I'm sorry for getting you mixed up in this. Now... Wait, just a minute, let me think. Moran closes her eyes for a few moments and reopens them. Fine, I'll help. What about Sixo? It's okay, I'd hit a wall with that anyway. Once I finish helping you and Kay, you two can return the favor and lend me a hand. Okay, thanks, Moran. No need to thank me. What are friends for? Are you two done? I hate to break up the love fest, but perhaps you could spare a moment to look at this. Sorry, I'm finished. What is it? Look at this. Kay points to a wound where the blood is slowly congealing. Does this wound bring anything to mind? Well, I haven't seen many corpses in my lifetime. This injury does seem familiar. It's a gash, one which seems to have been caused by a knife or some type of heavy blade. Like an axe, for example. No way. Just then, footsteps echo behind us. D, did you do this? D doesn't answer and continues walking towards me. Hold on a minute. Why don't we keep our distance and talk this through? Sensing the tension, Moran steps in front of me, but take this. D hands me a phone and steps back. A phone? Why would you... Oh? Answer it. As soon as I press the button, a cold and inorganic voice emerges from the speaker. Ikaros. Who is this? 7. Huh? One of the judges. I'm just going to point that out. 7 is one of the judges. 7. The judges. D. Return to your mission. D bites her lip and briefly glances over at Kay as she heads out of the room. At the doorway, she stops short and stands beside me. Please help her. That's not ominous at all. I have a mission for you, Icaros. It's something you're already quite familiar with, so no explanation will be necessary. Wait, before that, I'm not taking questions. Justice has no place for it. What? We judges pass judgment. We embody justice. We are justice itself. You must follow and respect this. You are the Ark's salvation, and humanity's as well. You must become an infallible, unwavering symbol of righteousness. All of your past verdicts were the foundation. Those made in the future will be the harvest, and this judgment will be the turning point. A watershed moment, an inflection point, a divergence. The moment in which you realize the true meaning of justice. I'm going to point out what he means by all our past verdicts. So, this happens after chapter 34 going into chapter 35. At this point, we are already known as like the most legendary commander to have ever lived since the first one. Possibly even surpassing the first legendary commander. We've already surpassed New Hope. We are kind of a up-and-coming legend in the Ark right now. We are him. Is the best way I can put it. So make your judgment, Icaros. Deny all falsehoods. Eradicate evil. Uphold justice. That is your role and your duty. It is your destiny. The voice brims with more than mere conviction. It seethes with madness. I only now realize that I haven't moved this entire time. It's only with considerable effort that I can open my mouth to speak. Who is the target this time? Who do you want me to pass judgment on? In response to my question, 7 lets out a sigh that seems both regretful, yet also self-satisfied. The target this time? 7 indicates the target is me. Our target is quite literally one of the judges. Take a moment to unpack that. Let's go back into this. Are you sure this is the right way? Kay does not respond to Morin's question. Hey, I said, is this the right way? Most likely, yes. I have a rough idea of where the safe house is, so I'll take the lead. Alright. Watching Kay silently bite her lip reminds me of what just happened. The target this time is me. What? Judges are the embodiment of justice, and so we must always be just. But I have lost my way. The righteous path which I tread has become one of evil. My position can only be inhabited by one with an infallible sense of justice, and so I must be judged and face judgment. What in the hell is this? You're telling me a judge, one of the upper strata, is the target. And they're the one putting a hit out on themselves? What kind of insane... You already know the answer to the question you're about to ask, Kay. What? You may know the answer, but you no longer have the privilege. A puppet is not entitled to uphold justice. Is that because Kay is a Nikke? It's nothing so banal as that. Kay has failed us. She has forgotten her mission. She has forsaken the name which was given to her. She has failed time and time again, and become little more than a hollow puppet. What's this? A key? Kay vacantly pulls out an old key from her coat. That will tell you about the path you've walked. It will reveal the truth and the facts. It will reveal my beliefs, my will, and my sense of justice. Kay clenches tightly to the old key in her hand. to which there is a tag attached which reads, Top Secret Archive, S-1452. Click. We arrive at the Perilous Siege safe house located within the Ark and open the door. Panoply of books which have clearly been taken from the Forbidden Library lies scattered around the safe house. Kay doesn't so much as flinch at the sight. It's as if she was expecting it or already knew. Aren't those the records that we're missing? I think so. I pick up one of the books. Flip. Mission code K53. Declassified. Target redacted. Assignment of judgment regarding redacted. Redacted emerged as a major political figure amidst the chaos that spread during the evacuation to the Ark. He initially appeared upright and honest, but he is now believed to have become intoxicated by power and is plotting to overthrow the central government. Refer to attached evidence and conduct further investigation before delivering judgment. For humankind, may justice prevail. This must have been Kay's mission. Which means Kay has been around since the founding of the Ark. So, 60 to 80 years. 60 to 80 years. Mission code D77. Declassified. Target Bright Squad. Assignment, gather intel on Bright Squad. Frequent injuries and mission delays have been reported within the squad. Intel suggests the squad leader could be deliberately sabotaging missions. Infiltrate their ranks, go undercover on a mission to the surface, and gather intel. If the squad leader is determined to have been corrupted or otherwise overtaken, pre-authorization for immediate disposal is granted. If not, focus on intelligence gathering. For humankind, may justice prevail. D. More and more similar entries appear in the books. Cadet, I think you should take a look at this. I opened the book Moran handed over to me. Mission code 7-1. 7's first mission, declassified. Proposal for upholding justice within the Ark and across humanity as a whole. Within the insular society of the Ark, the activities of Perilous Siege proved remarkably effective. All traces of evil within the Ark were soon eradicated. However, evil is the darker side of a coin which must exist for justice to persist. Therefore, a proposal to maintain justice and oversee Perilous Siege has been drafted, which can be seen below. Huh? Formation of the slums. Originally intended for formation of minor criminal organizations and other forms of social instability, but determined to be unnecessary due to the current structure and atmosphere in the Ark. Priority downgraded, only periodic monitoring required. Basically the formation of the Outer Rim. Flip. Formation of pro-Rapture radical group. Public awareness of raptures continues to decline. The attached survey suggests this is due to the fact ordinary citizens rarely encounter raptures personally. Therefore, pro-rapture radical groups are to receive clandestine support to increase awareness and foment hostility towards raptures from the general populace. Let's see what's next. Conduct surveillance on redacted. Redacted is a powerful tool but may fail to understand the judge's concept of justice. As such, it is necessary to, through the use of up-to-date research and indirect means discovered by redacted, find a way to prevent redacted from being an impediment in any way. On July 22nd, X recommended a candidate for this plan. She is a skilled hacker operating under the code name 6. I forgot. The judges backed 6-0. Or more specifically, 7 backed 6-0. Which has led to all the shit we're dealing with now. All the shit we've been dealing with over the past 4 events is because of 7. Hence why he put the hit out on himself. Proposal passed with 6 votes in favor and 3 against, excluding the proposer. So aside from 7, 6 of the judges said yes and 3 said no. So 7 in yes. Covert contact underway. I certainly didn't expect that name to show up here. Neither did I. But at least we found a lead. I can finally face the Peony Association again. Okay. Kay drops the book that she's reading and starts to tremble. Are you okay? As I move towards Kay, I catch sight of what was in the book that fell to the floor. 7-1 mid-report. Mission success rate for general agents and Nikke's is under 50%. The plan itself is sound, but the method is flawed. Therefore, 1 Nikke from Perilous Siege will be deployed on Mission 7-1 as a parallel agent. Codename K gladly accepted the mission. Have you reviewed everything? Yes. We have high expectations for you. That means you have a great responsibility. It's to carry out justice, isn't it? I've been doing that all along and know the weight of this burden. Confidence is good, but it won't be enough. And what more is needed? Conviction. An unwavering belief that the path you're walking is righteous. There must not be a shred of doubt. Without such conviction, I cannot entrust this mission to you. I thought you were going to say something else. You think I don't have conviction? You think I could have done what I've done without it? At any rate, I've seen that they're expanding the library, storing even the most minute of details. That's because records are important. Our mission is to establish a universal form of justice. One which all of humanity can share, recognize, and follow. Spare me the linguistic gymnastics and just let me do my thing. I'll show you what justice really is. And I'll do it by any means necessary. Understood. I remember. So that's what happened. I was just a puppet. Completely hollow inside. I didn't have a clue. All I was doing was dancing to someone else's tune. There's nothing righteous about that. Hey, it's not your fault. The judges erased your memories so they could use you. What difference does that make? Yes, indeed. What does it change? It doesn't wash my hands of the blood I spilled for no good reason. It doesn't change the fact that everything which I believed was justice instead was evil. Moran slams the book she was reading to the floor. Would you can it already? What? Get over here. Moran grabs Kay's arm and drags her out. What the? How come you're so heavy? Where are you going? I have something to show you. What is it? My interpretation of justice. Oh, shit. Here's where it gets dark. Moran ends up taking us to Fog Hollow. If y'all remember, this is from part 2. This is from part 2 of the second video. Moran ends up taking us to Fog Hollow. Huh, Moran? Didn't I tell you to take it easy? What are you doing here? I'm just stopping by. After a brief chat with Moran, Jen leaves and Moran turns to us. Here, look. Look at what? That. Moran points at the villagers working in tandem with members of the Peony Association to rebuild the town. I still don't get what your point is. Get a good look, alright? On to the next place. Moran once again grasps Kay. This time she drags her to a small hill overlooking Fog Hollow. Look here, too. Moran points to what appears to be dozens of graves. Tell me when you've gotten a good eyeful, then I can start talking again. What is it that you want to say? Moran doesn't answer and instead picks up a bottle of alcohol placed in front of a grave. She slowly weaves her way through the cemetery, pouring a bit of the liquor over each grave. Did you see that? Alright, then I'll start. This is my definition of righteousness. What? You should know. Oh, right. Maybe you don't because your memory was erased. Anyway, this is what I consider righteousness. No, I remember. Less than 10% of the original residents here survived. What are you talking about? They're not dead. What? Kay stares at the graves bemused. They're alive in here. Moran points to her own chest. Everything comes at a cost. When something is rotten, it has to be pulled out by the root. These things are true, that much is certain. It doesn't mean you can cut people out of your life and act as if they never existed. That's not how it works. I was wondering when you'd finally get to the point. You call that righteousness, I call it hypocrisy. I wouldn't know anything about that. It hurts my head to think about it. But I don't regret it, not one bit. Destroying this village was something I had to do. And now I carry these people in my heart. It was something that I had to do as a human being. We must fix what is wrong. Or rather, we can fix it. If you step down the wrong path, you can always turn back around. If something is unjust, then you make it right. If we keep doing that, then I'll believe that we will make this world a better place to live in. To me, that is what justice means. I'm not sure if I know what being okay feels like. This is a flashback to the first event that we covered in part 1, License to Kill. My life's been hard and always will be. It's heavy, but I'm holding up. I believe that I'm doing the right thing. I believe that I'm making this world a better place. It's what makes me able to endure it. It's okay. Well, I've said my piece. I'll go and help the others with the repairs. Thanks, Moran. We're very grateful. Not as grateful as I am to you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have known what to do next. Anyway, let me know once things are settled. I'll continue my investigation. What do you think of what Moran said? Hearing footsteps behind me, I turned, thinking that Moran had come back. Did you leave something but... Huh? It's time. Pass your judgment. Yes, it's me. 7. The evil which you must judge. 7 frowns at Kay. You're breaking down faster this time. Are you the one who erased Kay's memory and used her? Yes, I'm the one who erased her memories. I gave the order and granted her plea. What do you mean? I'm afraid you've been mistaken all this time. It wasn't me or anyone else who chose to erase Kay's memories. It was her own decision. Becoming an agent of justice, becoming a puppet under our control, erasing her memories, it was all Kay's own choice. And this time she even tried to eliminate herself. Of course, an agent of justice cannot be undone by a weapon crafted to uphold justice. Even if that agent is a pathetically faulty instrument. So that wound before. Neither a pawn nor agent of justice is permitted to take their own life. That's right, Kay. Your life is no longer your own. You have relinquished control over even that. Kay grits her teeth and lowers her head. The puppet show ends here. I must say it made for an excellent prelude to the final judgment. Now then, are you ready, Icaros? You have already seen the truth. How the once glorious institution of justice fell and sank into the mire, only to be tainted and become evil. All of the pieces are arranged on the chessboard. All that remains is for you to decide. So, for the cause, and to choose the new king. Pass your judgment. My phone abruptly starts ringing, startling me. 7, however, looks at me unaffected as if he had been expecting it. As I pick up, I hear a man's voice on the other end. Hurry up and decide. The stage is set, and the conditions are already met. We may have skipped a few steps along the way, but the end result is the same as it has always been. Now make your choice. Who are you? Oh, goodness me, I'm getting ahead of myself. Forgive me, it happens once you reach a certain age. It's a pleasure to meet you. Let's see, if I were in your position, I'd have you call me X. I'd have you call me X. Now, getting back to what we were discussing, I'm sure you're used to situations like this by now. Choose, Icaros. In the name of justice, deliver your judgment to the one before you, whom you deem unrighteous. I refuse. Oh, and why is that? This time will be different. I won't get involved with this ridiculous political game. A political game, huh? I suppose that's not entirely incorrect. Very well then, allow me to help you come to a decision. As soon as X is finished speaking, 7 pulls out a handgun from his coat and aims it at K. Small word of caution, don't think for a second that I'm bluffing. It's a master's duty to be willing to put down a mad dog which could go wild at any moment. You son of a bitch. Kay stares emotionlessly at the gun pointed at her. Now it's time to make a decision. So what's it going to be? Which one of the unjust will you judge? Rescue Kay. For the sake of a righteous judgment. 7 lowers his weapon and without a moment's hesitation turns it on himself and pulls the trigger. This is insane. A splendid choice, Icaros. Or perhaps I should call you 7. What? A job opening just came up. In light of the judgments you've made up until now, we have decided to offer you 7's position. There's something strange in X's voice which makes me feel uneasy, although I can't quite figure out why. You're standing at another fork in the road. Accept or decline, a binary decision. But is it really? People often delude themselves into thinking that they've made a choice. In most situations, however, everything is already predetermined, including the options available to them. People simply trick themselves into believing there's an alternative. All decisions by the judges are made by vote. Don't get the wrong idea. It's true that we did manipulate you, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a loss for you. Some food for thought, don't you think? I have recently come to know one of the judges better. I understand how confusing, even frustrating this must be, and nevertheless set aside your youthful bluster for the moment. Suppress your emotions and think rationally about which path benefits you most. That is the only way you can achieve your goal, I promise you. Can I ask something? By all means. The decision to have me join the judges, was it unanimous? I'm fairly certain I know at least one member who would be opposed to it. Aren't all decisions made by the judges supposed to be unanimous? X remained silent for so long that I began to think he has hung up, but then he lets out a deep sigh. I knew it. I was too impatient. I figured the slight nudging and persuasion would be insufficient. At some point, X's voice has changed and now resembles that of the friendly elderly man next door. Allow me to make a correction, first and foremost. Unanimity isn't always mandatory for us to make decisions. Sometimes majority votes are sufficient. A single person can even push a resolution through, albeit at a great political risk, and to that end I must admit, this was a decision that I made on my own, but as you can see it failed miserably, so I will have to lay low for a while. I know what you're thinking. Why is he confessing all of this to me? The moment doubt rears its ugly head, it's already over and it's simply a matter of time until the truth is uncovered. Like with Kay. What do you possibly have to gain by roping me in with the judges? A formidable successor who I can entrust the future to. What? Have you not been listening to me? I don't have much time left, but the Ark is still in dire need of justice. I must impart my knowledge to a successor while I still can. However, in attempting to do so, I have been dealt a fatal blow. What a disaster. You say that, but you seem quite happy. Of course I am. My successor has grown up splendidly without me having to teach him anything. While we're on the subject, you should consider having a child at some point. After retirement, doting on grandchildren is all we old folks have left. There I go again, saying too much. These kinds of things happen when you get old. I hope you understand. We admire young folks and feel proud of them, but also envy them. So don't test my patience too much, Hiccups. I can't keep this position empty forever. Oh, and one more thing. I have a gift for you. Think of it as a tribute to the victor. What is it? I leave Kay's fate in your hands. Kill her, erase her memory, make her a slave, ignore her. The choice is entirely up to you. The Collins. I gazed at Kay, who was looking at me with sunken eyes. Okay. Erase my memory. What? Or kill me. Most of that stuff X said was complete nonsense, but there was an element of truth to some of it. Asking me to erase your memory is the same thing as asking me to kill you. I can't make that kind of decision. That's not who I am. I refuse to choose. Kay, you were not a puppet. You saw those records. I'm a bad person by anyone's measurement. All of those deranged orders from 7. I obsessed over how to carry them out more efficiently. I claimed to be making my own judgment, completely unaware that the outcome was already decided. And you carried them out flawlessly. Despite all of that, you never gave up on life. What? Erasing your memory may be close to dying, but it's not exactly the same. Why is it that you chose to have your memories erased instead of being killed? You want to know my theory? I think you wanted to fix things somehow. You were in too much pain and couldn't bear it, so you erased your memories. But even then, you couldn't run. You still wanted to restore justice with your own hands. In life, we're faced with many imbalances. This is from the Kill the Lord event that we just went over in part 3. In life, we're faced with many imbalances. We pile on additional weight and remove others, attempting to balance the scales. But there's no such thing as perfect equilibrium. Rather than trying too hard to make everything balanced, in times like that, I tilt my head and then everything looks in order. It's a way to get by and keep living. I'm going. I'll see you later. Tilt your head and compromise. The thorns on Kay's gun spark ominously. There's no lasting damage, just pure pain, perfect for extracting the truth. This is from License to Kill. Flashback. The methods used must be clean. There you go again. You're going to be up all night. Remember, clean methods make for a clean resolution. Alright. Stop going on about clean this and clean that. I'll do things my own way. Even if the means were immoral, even if you did not act righteously, you still wanted to restore justice. There's more to it than that. I'm a villain, a bloodthirsty, vicious villain. What right do I have to talk about justice? You're on the right path as we speak. What? Moran is a just person. Is she a perfect person? No! She's not without her flaws. For one, she's a fucking idiot. She's dumb, but you know what? We love her anyways. But if you were to place her on the scales, they would certainly tip towards the side that's just. Even if others call her a criminal, and despite what occurred in Fog Hollow, she is still a righteous person. That's because she keeps striving to uphold what she feels is right. Up until now, you've left all the decision-making up to me. Now it's time for you to decide, Kay, so what's it going to be? What's your decision? My decision is... Kay grits her teeth and slowly lifts her head. I really can't stand this. Twisting and smashing words together in to try to force meetings even when it makes no sense. Talking like you know everything when you don't have a clue. I tried to kill myself, for goodness sake. I'm too far gone. This is why I don't like humans. You don't like humans? No. At least not before. I see. Doesn't seem like much has changed. You're right, nothing has changed, and that's a bad thing. So, it's time we change that, starting now. I'll help. You? How? I'll have to think about it. Kay, looking more at ease, picks up the gun from the floor. Okay, then. Show me, then. Let's see for myself. Show me what righteousness is to you. and the road for justice I'm meant to follow. Road for justice begin. That is definitely a precursor. Let me tab out so we don't have the music interrupting. So that's a precursor. You notice how it didn't say Lord for Justice end. It said Road for Justice begin. That's going to be the next Perilous Siege event. I'm calling it. This has not been officially announced, but I'm calling it. The next Perilous Siege event, K's Part 2, because you notice how D had her two of her own events that were focused around Perilous Siege, but they were focused more on D. This one was focused on K. There's going to be a sequel event. I'm calling it, and it's going to be named Road for Justice. I'm calling it. And we will cover that event 100% when it goes over it. I just wanted to point that out. D. So you couldn't bear the weight of the crown. I knew from the beginning that it would be too much for you. If you had known that from the start, you should have told me. Besides, I haven't removed it. I've only let someone borrow it for a while. Someone willing to carry it in my stead. I've got a pretty idea who it is. But still, that is very much your way of doing things. Right, instead of balancing the scales, I tilt my head. You got a problem with that? Not really, not right now. What matters is whether there is conviction behind your actions. Please, like you're so perfect. So what happened to your mission? Weren't you investigating that cult? I'm something of a free agent now, so I decided to come and help out. A free agent? Yeah, I'm giving this whole vigilante thing a try. He said that he'd bear all responsibility and I could do whatever I wanted. He said he trusts me. Igor sure is a funny guy. Dee does not answer and taps her phone. In Kay's pocket, her own vibrates with a notification. Investigation data committed to memory. I guess it hasn't properly started yet. We need to be especially cautious with this mission. Right, they did say they would leave my fate to Icarus. But I'm still not convinced that they'll let me walk away from this. You can still opt out of this if you want. What's gotten into you? Let's go already. We have to make a righteous judgment. What are you looking at? Arcana was telling me all this stuff about self-suggestion, and it's supposed to be effective, so I'm giving it a try. You've changed. Yeah? Icarus said nothing had changed. Well, I guess I did. Humans change. Same must go for Nikkes who used to be human. I used to hate that. But I've decided not to let it get to me. Not anymore. Dee turns around and walks away with the word. K follows. So where do we start? We need to find someone. What's the name? Daipara. An old man reclines in a luxurious armchair sipping from a glass. It's X. Speak. A male voice blows from an antique headset the old man holds. Already finished? Then what's the agenda for next Monday? Take it easy, everyone stumbles in the beginning. So you understand everything that's happened thus far. Are you referring to what Seven was handling? You're mistaken. That's been out of our hands for some time. It's already out of our control. I admire your passion, that you want it to succeed again, but remember, they are simply tools. It does not matter whether they succeed or fail. They simply need to exist, that's all. If you understand that, then you can get to work. There have been some complications, so I need to work that much harder. It's been a long time since I've heard someone recite slogans by rote. Certainly not since Seven or automated voice systems. Such a rare trait to find in a young person these days. X pauses as he reaches again for his glass. The more I think about it, the more I like it. For the sake of a righteous judgment. Lord for justice. And okay, so. We have learned a lot more about the judges. So now we've learned that one of the judges is now dead. By his own hands. Obviously, we witnessed that bit. And that the lead judge, or kind of the lead judge, or I would like to say he's the lead judge, X, wants us to succeed him and also wants us to be a judge. Kind of makes sense and kind of tracks after the last 3 events of Perilous Siege events, so it kind of tracks. It just makes sense, you know? Makes sense. But here's where I'm going to get into a little bit of implications here. Implications, I'm going to do a little bit of theory crafting too. So we've learned about the judges. They can push things on their own, but they also have to usually be unanimous. Sometimes they don't have to be, but they take a risk in doing so. A risk to themselves, usually. And what they do is they direct Perilous Siege and they oversee the Ark as a whole. They oversee the Ark's safety on many other scales than what Enoch can. Because Enoch can only oversee certain things that directly affect the Ark's safety. She is not, while she is a judge, she is not a presiding judge over the committee of judges. She is her own judge, leads the Ark. And then we have the judges, hiding in secrecy, mostly. They are part of the upper crust. They are, as far as Perilous Siege is concerned, the upper strata. We have X. We know I, or Ingrid, is supposedly possibly a judge. And here's where I have a theory. We know about 7 and X. I have a theory. So, in the footstep walk run event, we learned about Deep. Deep is also mentioned that she was one of 4 entities that oversee the Ark's safety directly. I think Deep may preside over the judges. There's the judges, they oversee the criminal in the Ark. Then we've got Enoch, who oversees the director of the Ark. Then we have Deep. Deep is one entity, but there's 3 others. 4 others. Or 3 others. There's 4 in total. She overwatches the lift. And I'm anxious to see how all this turns out. And I'm anxious to see what we have to cover in the next Perilous Siege event, which I'm calling it is going to be called Road for Justice. I'm calling that. Note it now. I will say it here first. Write it down. It is going to be called Road for Justice. I'm calling it. But anyway, that about wraps it up for the part 4. That about wraps it up for Lore Deep Dive number 12. That is Lord for Justice. Thank y'all for stopping by, and I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and turn on the bell for notifications. And I cannot wait, because here in July, more story chapters are going to be dropped. We're going to be covering those. And I have one more note to say before we go. And this is to those who only watch and see the YouTube videos. I will be doing Stellar Blade is coming out, and they have a collab with Nikke. I'm going to be playing that. I'm going to be streaming both that and Nikke outside of lore stuff now. And I'm going to be streaming those games. Make sure you can catch me on Twitch, Kick, or I will also probably be streaming those to YouTube Live as well. That's coming in the future, as well as more Nikke lore content. I'll see y'all in the next video. Thank y'all for stopping by. Stay cool.